So good morning, Parull from Cyprus. And I
Hi,
know
Desi. Good morning, and it's good afternoon from my country.
that's so nice to chat
Yeah,
to you on this morning/afternoon and just have spend some time to get to know you a little bit more. So
yeah.
basically, Parul, one of the things I just wanted to say before we start is the first impression I have of you, and when we speak, one of the things I've noticed about you is that you exude this warmth and this compassion. And I think that that comes through very strongly. And I'm sure that that's what makes you really good at the work you do with your clients. So I just wanted to start with that before saying what you do and your background. And I hope that that will come through today because that was the most evident thing for me when I sat down and had that first conversation with you. So, to say a few things about you, you're an expert in relationship coaching and personal development with a strong background in NLP from practitioner all the way to master practitioner level. And currently, I know you're doing a lot of work in the area of helping professional women and couples on the verge of divorce to turn their lives around and to, repair the work, repair their marriages, basically, to do the work to fix their marriage. So before we go into that and asking more about your work and your program, I just want to know a little bit more about your background because I know a lot of people that go into coaching, they don't always start with coaching first. Something always leads them there, and it's very rare you're going to find someone who says, "I've always wanted to be a coach," or it's almost like something comes at some point in your life, and then you have the switch, or you're guided. So tell me a little bit about your journey and how you got to coaching and down that path, because I'm sure there's an interesting story there.
Yeah, going back to those childhood days, Desi, I was born in the family of doctors. Both my parents, have been doctors. My mother is no more, but my father is there. And so I've always seen them serving people. So that was something which was getting inside of me right from the time I was born. I was seeing all of that. And I did my master's in applied psychology and I started working with corporate sector in the field of HR,
Mhm.
and counseling was one of the key areas where I was working on. So I, as a child, had a great dream of becoming a doctor because I thought that's the only way you can serve people. But then for whatever kind of student I was, very average, I could not get into the field of medicine. And when I was in HR and I was doing counseling, I realized that through counseling also I was able to make that difference that my parents were making through the field of medicine. So it
Mhm.
was a difference in a different kind. Okay. And from there began my journey, and I worked for, cutting it short, I worked for 20 years in the field of HR, spread across corporate and education sector, right? And when I went to education sector, there I also got a chance to connect with a lot of children, okay? And meanwhile, I had a, when I was in the education sector in this organization that I was working, my director was a very great man and we had an extremely good rapport. And I told him that, I was getting quite bored with the routine HR functions, counseling. I wanted to do something more. And he suggested NLP. And for me, he was, his word was the golden word. So I went ahead doing my NLP. Initially, I did it in India. And
Mhm.
later on, I went to the founders. I did my, master practitioner and also trained the trainer with the founder, co-founder, Dr. Richard Bandler. And then
Mhm.
I started working with a lot of people. And in that connection, I started again, working with children. Some
Yeah.
children started coming to me, and these children were coming who were um, you know um, around 15, 16 years of age, when they were on the verge of making their career. They were wanting to try
Yeah.
out new
Choose.
things,
So.
and they were quite bogged down by a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of pressure of proving themselves. um, that is also the time when, that is the age when children have crush on their
Mhm.
friends, their partners. And at that age I started facing those children who were breaking in their relationships and they were going through a lot of stress.
Mhm.
Anyhow, somehow I continued with my practitioner's work until one day, I was in a school. I was training a group of about 30 students, and there was this girl who was not smiling at all, and she looked more like a doll, more like a statue kind of a thing.
Mhm.
I called her, and it's the grace of God, I say, Desi, that it took me just 15 minutes to do that intervention, and She was into her activities. She got the smile on her face, and I worked with her for 5 days, and she was, blossoming like a flower. And then the director of the school told me about her story, where she would witness her father beating up her mother almost every second day. And my mission, after I left my job, my mission was to, how can I help more people, how can I reach out?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the mission was then that I wanted to bring out that difference in the lives of children. I wanted to see children happy.
Yeah.
When I started working with children and I saw this particular girl, I thought that, does it really make sense to work on the children? Because when they are coming from broken families, they are they are already gone, they are already shattered. Even if I work on them, they are
The,
still going to go back to the family
to the
where parents are
problem. Yeah.
fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So my journey with relationship coaching and starting to work with couples, starting to work with mothers, it stemmed from there. It has its roots there, and I give that credit to that little girl. She was in grade 4, because of whom it took a turn towards relationship coaching.
Yeah.
In the middle, though, I met a man because I just did not know, I mean, how to go about it, who then gave me the direction, gave me the confidence, told me what path I can take. And he's a very, very special person in my life. I hired him as a coach. He's Braj Mohan Das from Academy for Coaches. He held my hand, and today I'm living my vision as a relationship coach because of.
Because
Uh,
of him and his work. So, what was the biggest thing he told you that made it change for you? What was that one spark that said, I can do this, I'm going to go in another direction? This is what I want.
w- this dream of making children happy, I had no idea as to how it's going to come true. I was
Yeah.
not able to think in terms of working with parents or working with women. So that call that I had with him, which was the first call, the way he was asking questions, that automatically made me to go deep inside, dig into myself. And
Mm.
that insight came suddenly. And that is what coaches do, right? They
Yeah.
ask you questions in a manner that you get that insight.
Yeah.
And I had that insight that I could be working with parents, and maybe I could be working with women.
Yeah. That,
He gave me that confidence that I can do it. So I joined his coaching program, which was a lot of hand holding on how I could be becoming that relationship coach. Since this was my passion, and since I always wanted to help people, so then the journey became quite smooth over time. And then here I am helping.
yeah, that's amazing. So, one question relating to the journey is, what was the biggest obstacle along the way for you? Because it's not an easy thing. It's great that you've arrived there now and you've got your clientele and you're working quite dynamically in the field, but it's not always that smooth transition. So, what was the biggest obstacle you personally had to overcome to get to where you are right now?
Desi, self doubt.
Yes, that's a
Okay.
big one, isn't it?
My doubt was, can I
Mm,
really make this happen? Can I really help people to live their life, to live the life that they want to? Can I
mhm.
really help them to become great partners? Can I really help them to save their marriages? And so then I started to think in terms of, all right, saving the marriage comes later, but first you become that person, who you are meant to be.
Mhm.
First, you become that person that you want your partner to be. Relationship comes later on. So let me start from that perspective.
Yeah. So it's changed the shift.
Then
Yeah.
I changed, started working. Back then I used to take one client at a time. I would work with one client, gain my experience, and see what's working, what's not working. How do I make it happen? And there was a very strong determination that I'm going to make it happen. But there are times, when suppose the client was not getting the kind of results that I was expecting. So there was a fall in my energy.
Yeah.
Again, the
Yeah.
doubt would crop up. What do I do? But then the best part about my coach was that, he would just bring me up again. Each
Yeah.
time I fail, and each time he would bring me up again.
What's the thing he would say to you that would bring you up again? What's that one? Was it just the support that he gave you? What was that thing that kept keeping you
See, there were a
going.
lot of things during the journey, Desi, but it's like, one day I remember I messaged him that I don't think I can do this, and this is very tough, and not, I don't think I have that strength, that stamina, that capability. And what he said, he messaged me, he said that, and this was a message, and he said that, Parul, you have crossed the darkest of the tunnel. Okay, you're almost towards the end of it, and I can see that light. Okay, so what I wanted to do is, since you have crossed that darkest tunnel, you are used to seeing that darkness around. What I wanted to do is just open your eyes and see that just 100 yards away there is a light shining.
Mm,
See that light and start moving one step at a time, and
yeah,
you reach that light. If you don't take that step, you will always be in darkness. So what do you want to do?
that's true. So when did you start to see that, the fruits of all this effort and realize that, yes, I've actually got this and I am making a difference?
When I got my first client, Desi, and one session, second session, third session, and then she was, I saw that improvement. I said, "Wow, man!" And then a little dip. I would not say dip, but a kind of, she maintained that state, and I thought, no, I mean, she needs to go further up.
Further up. Mm.
Yeah. So when my first client started to show the results, I thought that fantastic. When I got my second client, who was first client was a woman, second client was a couple. I thought, oh God, um, how am I to work on the couples?
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing working with one, but when they both come in, how do you?
How do I do it?
Yeah,
But then I did it,
yeah,
challenged myself. My coach, one thing about the coach is that, Desi, whenever the situation is challenging, he would somehow, somewhere, from somewhere, jump into it and would help me to make those things happen. So um, this is how, one by one, I got this confidence. And I was, he was making me to see my vision, and my vision has been to see the next generation happy.
yeah.
So again and again, I was, getting pulled there, and that is how I was making it
I think that's what comes up a lot from a lot of people I speak to is like having a strong why, a strong pull. Because like when things are bringing you down, you need something to keep you going, right? It keeps, and like you said, your vision of that generational change.
happen.
That's awesome. Wow. So, is there a book that is that like book that's featured in your life that has that quote, or that's your go-to book that also gives you that inspiration, or that has been powerful for the way you do things?
There are a lot of books, Desi, that I have been reading. I have been reading this book called Power of Now.
I can't totally.
Okay, Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
That book is a great source of inspiration. His videos are a great source of inspiration. And one more book, In a Game of Tennis.
Oh, not heard of that
In a
one.
Game of Tennis, I don't know where it
In a
is.
game of tennis. Who's that by? Parull?
Yeah. In a Game of Tennis by W. Timothy Galloway. Here it is. I mean, if you can,
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
okay.
Yeah.
This awesome.
Something
This
you
is
took away from that book that, was.
a lot I took away from here from Eckhart Tolle, and Eckhart Tolle's book Power of Now. Then Zero Limits by I forgot his name.
Yeah, I've heard
Joe
zero.
Vitale. Zero Limits by Joe Vitale.
Okay. Oh, oh.
And
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, yeah. No.
yeah. So I started from there because it's so much about working on your own self, how to
Yes.
use your, and that is what forms the basis for the relationship. Okay,
Yes.
losing confidence is it's an emotion,
Yeah.
right? So how do you deal with that emotion? So all that came from these books, and I understood that, in fact, I was working on myself, I was practicing all that on myself, that when it works with me and I
Yeah.
know where it gets stuck, I will know where, when my clients are getting stuck,
Yeah.
how do I help them to get out of that situation?
Yeah. I
So
think some of
uh,
the best coaches, I believe, are the ones that have gone through their own struggles or their own, their own little challenges and are able to actually add their life experience to the mix. I definitely agree with that. Your coaching business and the work you do. So if somebody were to work with you, what would they expect? Like what would the program roughly be like and how long would it take?
Okay, the program has got three main pillars. Okay,
Hmm.
I'm giving you the brief of the entire
Yes,
thing.
the
So the foundation pillar is all about emotional makeover. It's called emotional makeover because whether it's a man or a woman, they have, because when their marriage is in trouble, they have undergone a lot of emotional pains. There are
hmm
a lot of hurts and wounds inside of them. Okay, and as a result of which, and as a result of, say, upbringing, there are a lot of gaps which we see in ourselves. Sometimes I feel I'm not loved enough. Sometimes I want more respect from the other person. Sometimes I want other person to trust me. Sometimes I want the other person to accept me, to validate who I am. Okay, so emotional makeover is one, about healing your emotional pain. Second, it's about harmonizing your emotions. Just a minute. I
bless
am
you.
sorry.
No problem.
So it's about healing your pain, and then it's about harmonizing your emotions, because in a rough marriage, your emotions are not under control. You're angry, sometimes you're upset, sometimes you're frustrated, disgusted, jealous, and you feel like taking revenge. Those are all negative emotions.
Yeah.
How do you get rid of those negative emotions? Which means, how do you harmonize your emotions? Okay, and how do you find that love within you, so that you don't have to depend on anybody on the outside for the love, for happiness, for joy, for respect, for validation. You will find it within you.
Hmm.
Okay, so you become whole and complete. That's the first layer of our program. Second layer is about reconnecting and rebuilding with your husband, right?
Hmm.
Because the relationship is breaking, that connection is not there. So we will teach you, how do you rebuild that connection. Okay.
Yeah.
Third is about third pillar is about, it's called romancing your marital problems, which means that when problems come up, what do you do so that when you solve the problems, you bond more rather than, you know,
Brings you apart or feel resentment.
yeah,
Yeah. That's
right.
big.
So at the end of the program, your relationship is more enriching, more rewarding, more loving, more caring, and you enjoy the life in spite of the differences that you might still hold.
Yeah, because you're still going to hold differences, right? It's not going to say that everything's going
Absolutely.
to be rosy after, it's just navigating that. So, what happens in the case if one of the two, only one partner is on board and just one wants to do the work? Is it still successful? Like, are they still able to do your course and get the results they want, even if the partner's not on board in it, with the to be coached or with any kind of coaching?
Yeah, 100%. I have been working with women and couples. I'm sure it works with men alone, because I have a colleague who's a relationship coach for men. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with women alone, Desi. It works. It really works wonders, because, if I tell you in very brief statement, a woman is a heart energy, a man is a mind energy.
Mm-hmm.
Operates from her heart, man operates from the mind. Okay. And a relationship thrives when a heart and a mind unite. Okay.
Mm.
What normally happens in troubled marriages is a woman starts to operate from her mind. A man is already in his mind.
Yeah.
Mind and
Uh,
mind operate that there is a clash. Okay. So all that I do is to convert this mind energy into heart energy. Okay. And then work on the woman, and it 100% happens.
that sounds amazing. Well, and really hopeful for people who are on the verge or have lost hope as well and have no idea where to go or that there are solutions. What is the thing that surprises you most about your clients?
When my clients come to me, they come to me saying,
They come
uh,
to saying, mm-hmm,
my husband is not going to participate. Okay, how do you think this can happen? Or they will say that my husband is not keen to join the coaching. He is not wanting to get into this, so I
mm-hmm,
don't think this is possible. Okay, so when they are coming with low self-esteem, believing that they alone cannot do anything.
yeah,
Okay.
uh,
uh, Another thing, my clients have said is that, mostly working women have said is that, you know, I have a great relationship with my boss, with my colleagues, with my team. Okay, everything is so good there. And I am the leader where, I make things happen. People are fond of me. My team is very fond of me. At home, I don't get along with him.
Yeah.
So the problem is not with
Interesting.
me, problem is with him.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is what they think. And then many of them, almost all of them, they think that their marriage is beyond repair. Why do they think like that? Because they have tried their level best to do whatever they could, but it didn't work out. So they firmly believe that their marriage is beyond repair. And they also believe, I have tried, my best to change my husband, but my husband doesn't change. So if my husband doesn't change, then nothing can happen.
Yeah. A lot of
These
I
are the
hear this a lot
beliefs.
actually from a lot of people. Yeah. Mm.
But that's not true. I mean, my question is, can you change anybody? Can you change any situation?
No, absolutely
All that you
not.
can do is change yourself.
Yeah.
So it works.
It sounds amazing that it works and that you're providing solutions for so many people. And
Thank
so,
you.
if somebody wanted to find you, how could they reach out to you? How does it work? Do you do a consultation initially? Can you tell me a little bit about that? How someone could reach you?
Yeah, Desi, I have my calendar, right?
Hmm.
Which is, I don't know how can I give you the link, if I can give the link in the chat
We
box.
can also put it where we share this video. We can put it underneath as well. But if you could just tell me, could they find you on
Okay.
Facebook or is there a
Yeah.
website? Yeah.
My website is right now, I am revising it. So you can definitely write the website, but you can, maybe check the website after about, say, in first week of January.
Okay. Well,
Okay. So my website is www.ahamarriedlife.com. Do you
yeah.
want me to put in the
Yeah,
chat box?
you can send it in the chat, and what we can also, I could also just add it underneath when I share this video for whoever wants to reach you. And they can find you on Facebook too. Is that right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah, they
I know
can
you
find
do
me on Facebook.
weekly
So, YouTube channel
lives.
has just begun. So,
Oh,
by January it would have picked up. They can find me on YouTube. They can find me on my Facebook group, my Facebook page,
yeah.
LinkedIn.
Okay.
Uh,
So just to repeat, the ahamarriedlife.com.
I
Yeah.
have sent you the
The link on the chat in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Great. Perfect. Okay.
if
Great.
they want to book a call, then I'm giving you the call link as well. The name of my group is the Facebook group is there are two groups I have.
Okay, we can add them to the link, Parul, so we can chat at
Yeah,
the end of this, and I'll just put
yeah,
them down under the
yeah,
video.
yeah.
That's not a problem. So, what I wanted to ask, successful women marriage talks, is that what you just? Yeah. Okay. So, what we could do, just to end off today, is I just wanted you to like leave one message of hope or what a message that you'd like to give to someone who is, having some struggles. Anyone having struggled in marriage, and just a message of hope, anything that could help in a few words as possible.
Uh,
I know it's a
I
tall task.
want to tell them that there is definitely hope, but having hope alone is not enough.
Mhm.
Hope needs to be followed by action. Okay, and everything is possible provided you set that intention. You put that seed of intention that I'm going to make it work, and then follow it up by action. When I say follow it up by action, Desi, there are two kinds of action. One is a forced action. Okay,
Forced.
you have your dream there, but if you're feeling forced to take that action, then it is unlikely that you will reach there.
Mm.
But if that action is inspired action, you may be going through a lot of mess. You have a dream and you want to get out of this mess. You want to live that dream, but that action that you're taking needs to be inspired action. That dream happens. Okay. And second thing I want to tell is that Desi, love transforms life. Okay. And it is not to say that there are no hurts in this world. There will be situations that hurt you. There will be people that hurt you. You need to allow and you need to let that hurt transform you. Transform that hurt into strength, because at the bottom of all our existence is love. Love is something that transforms everything.
Such a beautiful, powerful message. Thank you so much, Parul. And thank you so
Yeah.
much. I always enjoy our chats together.
Thank you. One last
Yeah,
thing I
no,
want to say is,
sure. Lovely.
Leslie, um, in a relationship, okay, it's the woman who sets the tone,
Hmm. That
rises
is
to the occasion.
spot on. Spot on. Because we see it. I mean, how many times does a woman come home and you might be stressed or whatever, and it just the whole family falls apart. The children act
Absolutely.
up, the husband just react. I mean, and when you're in that good space or when you're feeling playful and your energy is high, it's just everything around you rises with you. So I think
Absolutely.
what you do is crucial because it's all about doing the work inside, and it's not always easy, and sometimes you can't be bothered and you don't want to, and I know a lot of people, and myself included, sometimes you think, well, why should I be the one always doing the work? The other person should step up too, but it's not that. We do it for us, and then there is, the impact just comes through. So I think we owe it, personally, myself and to ourselves, to do the work to bring ourselves to a place where we are good for people around us, and we can do good within our small environments. It doesn't have to be this massive impact. I mean, we can start from the people that we immediately have in front of us. It doesn't have to be this
Correct.
big goal of doing good. So
Correct.
that's why I think your message is so powerful, and I'm so glad that we got the opportunity to chat and learn more about it.
Thank
So
you.
yeah, again, one more thing to finish off with. What are you most grateful for right now?
Oh, I am grateful for all my blessings, Desi. I consider myself to be a very, very blessed human being because whatever I have, it's not that I didn't have struggle in my life. I've had many, many struggles from my childhood, although my childhood has been very, very pleasant. It's a golden period of my life, but then I have had my share of struggles. And in spite of all that, I am living my dream is something I'm very grateful for. And I am extremely grateful for my coach who's really turned around the entire thing.
Yeah, we
Yes,
all.
there are so many things to be blessed for, and with regards to the work I do, my journey is I owe a lot to my coach
That's fantastic, and hope he sees this
and my
and
family as well. Yes,
hears this. Absolutely. Well, yeah. Thank you for your time, Parul. It was
thank
always
you,
insightful. And just
thank you.
hang on for a minute while I end. Yeah. So thanks for joining me today.